first question, speaking of, we'll possibly be, may ask yourself, why do we have to small cell counts? What about instant memory and defect? Of course, the first reason why we use cell counts is because it is a good laboratory practice. When you routinely use cells in cultures, nuclear cells, it is good practice to use routine counts to always be assured not just the quality of the cells, because through efficient inspection you may see if the cell population is passive or not, but also you get a good idea about the quantity of cells that have to be present in a glass or in a culture that you have. The second reason why we want small cell counts because these are subculture cells, and we try subculture cells at appropriate cell concentration. That means we try to keep the cells in a phase that we refer to as log phase, which means the cells are not kept in low numbers, but also not in too high concentration, because that also leads to depletion of medium, and then the cells may die because they don't have enough nutrients left. Another reason why we use cell counts is because keeping subculture cells or passive cells, you have to do that at appropriate cell concentration. Again, too high or too low is not good for cell counts. We may need to do accurate enumeration for cell counts, especially if you're performing some tests on cells. Picture you're culturing some maybe cancer cells, and you're trying to test to see if a chemical has an effect on the growth of the cells. As you may know, cancer cells have unlimited or unchecked growth, and so they will continue to multiply and multiply without any kind of check in place. And so the first one is to check to see if the cells are responding to the chemical, a chemotherapy agent, for example. It's very important to be able to enumerate the cells and count the cells to see if the chemical affects how often the cells divide and how fast the cells are growing. Finally, of course, when you always do cell counts, you always consistently subculture the cells at proper concentration. You get good cells, you get good performance, growth performance, and so you cannot do that when you culture the cells without using appropriate cells. Now, there are various methods that I'm going to discuss today, and I will hopefully describe three of the most commonly used methods. These are three methods that we do in our laboratory here at Gibbons. How to enumerate cells using these three methods. The first method is known as the fecal cytometer method. It's a completely manual method, meaning the person who's performing the cell count has to do everything from preparing the cells to loading up the fecal cytometer, to looking at the cells to the microscope, to actually doing the calculations manually. So it is completely manual method. Now, we also have a piece of equipment that I will be describing that performs automated methods. The user still has to prepare the cells, still has to load up the fecal cytometer, but from then on, the thermometer will be doing the work for you and give you calculations, etc. all by the computer. The last method that we employ in our laboratory is also mainly automated, and it is a culture counter method, and I will describe each one of these methods now in a little bit more detail. So you see a picture here of the incytometer. The incytometer is basically just like a large microscope slide. Here's a picture in comparison. The incytometer has been loaded onto the stage of the microscope. The incytometer consists of a count. Actually, there are two counting chambers. There's one here. There's another one here. These two counting chambers are covered up with a small glass slide. It's called a cover slip. This cover slip holds it's placed on top of the incytometer, and when you perform cell count, you actually load cells into the counting chambers here. The slip, and I'll show you that in just a second. And so you have two counting chambers that you'll be using to do the cell count on. And when you take this incytometer and place it under a microscope and use the scanning objective or the 4X, this is what you will see through the microscope, through the eyepieces. You will actually see a grid that has been etched into the glass. These are lines that have been drawn onto the glass plate. Okay, the first piece of important information is how do you get the cells ready for counting when you are doing the cytometer enumeration. Now, first thing I want to point out is we are working, or the method that I'm describing relies on the fact that these cells that we're recounting are suspension cells. These are the suspension cells because they flow freely in the liquid. They're not attached to one another or to the plastic that they grow in. They're not attached to the cell culture plant. So it's very easy to mix the cells. All you have to do is shake the plastic a little bit, and then the cells will be in suspension. Totally different if you're working with cells that adhere to each other and to the plastic, because what you end up with is you have to treat these cells chemically in order to get into release. We are describing a method that uses suspension cells, so they're very easy to remove from a glass. So the person will take the glass and mix the cells up by rocking the glass back and forth a couple times, make sure the cells are well mixed up and well fermented, and then The next thing is we will remove 1/2 mil or 0.5 mil of cells and transfer the cells to a small pipette. So 1 mil pipette for that and remove 1/2 mil for the small pipette. The next step is to add 0.5 ml or the equal volume of a stain that we call Trypan Blue. It's a viability stain. And the thing about Trypan Blue is that if you have any dead cells that are part of the culture, they will stain blue, they take up the stain, and they will appear blue under the microscope, whereas viable cells that are not dead will not take up the blue, and so they will appear colorless or clear. So this is actually how we go cells on the cytometer. You insert a patch tube pipette, and by capillary action, pipette is filled with cells. Cells are now loaded with capillary action into the cytometer. Chamber, each of the two counting chambers is loaded. The liquid kind of flows directly into the cytometer, and one of the things, or a common mistake that is made is that the chambers are overfilled or underfilled, and that is one of the technical aspects of loading up the cytometer that you have to master when you use this kind of technique. Alright, now once you have loaded up your cytometer, you place it onto the microscope, and we typically then use the 10x or low power objective. If you use the 10x or low power objective, you can actually, this is what you'll see, the counting squares are much larger, of course, and you can see the cells as small circles. They're clear. They do have some red reflectivity, so you can see it fairly well. Pay attention to this cell here with the arrow pointing at that is a blue cell, and that is a dead cell that has taken up the Trypan Blue stain. Now, you focus in on your cells, and then what we do is we use a small handheld counter. We count all the cells that are found in 4 of the corner squares of the cytometer. That is the method that we use in our laboratory, but that can actually differ from laboratory to laboratory. So, the first thing is cell count will add up all the cells that are found in 4 corner squares. These are the corner squares here that are engraved, counting only the viable cells, not counting the dead cells. And then, once that count has been done, write the number down, and move the page over to look at the second side of the cytometer. Count once again, we counting chamber number 2. Now, once you have your 2 counts done, the next thing is you actually have to use a formula to calculate the number of cells per milliliter of culture. So, in order to do that, you have to take the average number of cells counted. So you take the viable cells counted on slide 1. Let's say there were 310 cells on slide 1. You also add the number of viable cells that you counted on slide 2. As an example, 322. Those 2 numbers have to be in agreement within about 10%, otherwise you're going to have to reload and if the cells are within 10% of one another, then the average is like adding the plus divided by 2. In this case, we have an average number. The next thing or part of the formula is to multiply 10,000 conversion factor, because when we're performing count to count, we're actually counting only 0.1 micrometers, but we're counting 1 meter squared. So in order to calculate how many cells there are per 1 ml, we multiply by 10,000. The final part of the top portion of this equation is to multiply by the dilution factor. The dilution factor is just because when you see equal volume of cells, equal volume of blue, and therefore we have to multiply by 2 because of the multiply factor. Finally, the last part of the formula is to divide by the number of squares counted. The number of squares counted are 4 because we count 4 corners. Sometimes they have all 9 squares because it's low numbers. In that case, we then have to divide by 9. So now I'm going to use the numbers that I have prepared. But the formula, again, the average number of cells is 160 multiplied times 10,000. Conversion factor times 2 is the dilution factor divided by 2. The numbers are counted, we end up with a concentration of 1,580,000 cells per milliliter, and you can state that the scientific notation is 1.58 times 10 to the 4 milliliter. Of course, sometimes you may not want to just know how many cells you have per milliliter. You may also want to calculate how many cells you have in a flask. And so using the number of cells per milliliter, you can easily determine the number of cells per culture flask if you know the volume. So then you multiply the number of cells per ml times the ml volume of the culture, then you use the total number of cells. Now let's move on to the next method that is in our laboratory. That is what's called the Nexanon Auto G4 Thermometer by a company named Nexanon Biotherm. Basically, it looks like a the metal box is about a foot tall, attached to a laptop, and another important thing to point out is there's a focus knob on the side of the thermometer, as well as an opening or stick that is in the front, in which you will apply the Nexalon. Now, let me talk a little bit about what the Nexalon-ology for thermometer is all about. First of all, it performs automated cell counts. Unlike the human cytometer, where you have to actually do the counting yourself, this machine does the counting for you. How does it do that? Well, it uses a computer software that has image recognition, and the computer actually learns what cells look like. It learns the sizes of cells, it learns the shape of cells, the color of cells. The only thing you may have to do as the person using the thermometer is to have to focus in on the image property. You may also use trypan blue in this method, so you can distinguish viable cells from dead cells, and again, that would be the equivalent of what you do from the cytometer. How do you have to prepare the cells to get them ready for the thermometer use? First of all, same as you do in cytometer enumeration, you have to mix the cells well. Again, if there's infection cells, that is usually no problem, easy to do. Then you remove half a mil of cells, transfer them to a small test tube, add half a mil of trypan blue. In this case, we use a different concentration of trypan blue, it's a little bit less than we normally do when we use a cytometer count. Alright, I'm going to show a video how we load samples into the thermometer. Mix the cells up properly. With a micropipetter, you have to remove fairly small volumes, 20 microliters. Load them into a counting chamber with this thermometer. These are disposable counting chambers. You have to do the loading of this counting chamber twice, so you get 2 samples loaded into the counting chamber. Step is taking that slide, the counting chamber, and inserting it into the slit or opening of the thermometer. When you do your second count, you have to remove the slide, turn it, and insert the other side into the opening. So you will do 2 counts. Once you have your sample slide inserted into the counting chamber, the next thing is on your computer, on the program, you click on Display Image. When you have clicked on Display Image, the next thing you will see on your screen is what is actually the image of the cell. At this point, you use the focus knob that is part of your Nexalon thermometer box and get the image in good focus. Good focus is when you see the cells that are looking shiny, they almost have a little bit of a yellowish cytoplasm, and they have a nice clear circle around them, a ring around them. That's what we use as a guideline to see that the cells are in good focus. It has to be done before saying it is done for every slide that you insert in the Now, once the machine is doing the counting for you, you get a lot of information at the end of the cell count. First of all, it will give you the actual number of cells that were counted. In this instance, you had 280 cells that were counted that were alive, 33 cells that had taken up the trypan blue stain, and therefore are dead cells. The next thing that piece of information that is generated is the average size of the cells. So it takes a reading and gives you the diameter of cells in microns. The next piece of information that you get is the percent viability, and that is calculated taking the live cells and the total cells, and then you actually get how many cells percentage-wise are viable from the total number. And then finally you get 2 numbers that are important, the live cell concentration and the total cell concentration, and that of course includes live and dead cells. Now if you remember, our human cytometer enumeration gave us a result of 1.58 times 10 to the 6 cells per mil. Here using the thermometer, we get 1.53 times 10 to the 6 cells for the same sample. So considering there's about 10% error in the method, that's fairly accurate. That's pretty close to what we get on the cytometer. Alright, moving on to the next method, and this is the automated particle counter that we refer to as the Coulter counter. Coulter counter was first developed by somebody named Wallace Coulter in World War II. He was trying to develop an automated method to evaluate recruits that the Navy was looking for, and this Coulter counter was able to take large numbers of samples and perform a very quick count to determine the number of red blood cells that were present in these recruits, because the Navy was looking for divers during World War II. So this method has been adapted to use in clinical laboratories and is often seen in hospitals or doctor's offices. And the Coulter counter is really a particle counter. You take cells that are suspended in a liquid, and these cells are sucked through a small opening called the aperture. The aperture is under an electrical current, and as the particles pass the the aperture or to the opening, this electrical current changes slightly. The change occurs whenever there is a particle going through the aperture, but it's also changing proportional to the size of a particle. I will explain that with this next picture. Here you have the green dots representing cells that are in a salt solution or an electrolyte solution. We use actually an electrolyte solution that comes from the company Kohler, and it's an isoton. It's called isoton. So you have these cells suspended in the electrolyte solution, and they are being drawn through the opening in the circle in yellow. This is the opening called the aperture. There's a vacuum that's actually causing the cells to be sucked through into the aperture. Now, there's a constant electrical current that is applied that flows, and the change in the current when cells are going through the aperture is proportional to the particle going through and the size of the particle. So you can actually not only get a number, but also the sizing. Or you can set the parameters so that the culture counter will only count cells or particles that are a particular size. Now, how do we have to prepare a sample to get cells ready for culture counting? Again, you start off with your suspension cells. You make sure you mix them up real well. Then remove 10 microliters of samples, put them into a sample vial. Here's a picture of the sample vial, and the isoton is the sample vial, and we're adding the 10 microliters of cells directly into the isoton. Take that sample vial, close it off, put a lid on it, invert it several times, and then you can actually place the sample. After you mix it, place the sample onto a platform, move it in place, and press start on the keypad. Now the keypad is attached next to the culture counter, and from there you can do all the functions necessary to do the cell count. Again, I have a video that shows you first the vacuum is filled, then the machine gets ready to prepare. Then you see the counting performed. You see the numbers here going up as each cell or as each particle is passing through the aperture. At the end of the count, here's the numbers 7, 8, 7, 4. What we do is hit start again and perform a second count. Hopefully the two counts are kind of close to the 10%. Usually you might hear that I you take the two counts, and if there's a 10%, you take the average, and our average count here is 7, 8, 5, 5. Once you have calculated the average of your two counts, you have to multiply times the solution factor. In this case, the solution factor is 101 because we take 10 mils of the isoton and add 0.1 ml of cells, 0.01 ml of cells, and so the actual solution factor is 101. We also have to multiply by 2 because the culture counter, the way we have it set, will only count 1/2 mil. So if you plug in the numbers, 77,855 times 101 times 2 gives us 1.59 times 10 to the 6 decimil, and that's pretty much equivalent to the 3 counts that we have before. So in closing, I would like to compare the of course, one of the things we always try to account for is how much it actually costs to do cell counts using particular methods. So the first thing I want to look at, how much does it cost the equipment and supplies. And of course, the heat cytometer, as you may have guessed, is particularly expensive because you really only need to purchase a heat cytometer, a little handheld counter, and of course, you need a microscope. That's possibly the most expensive part, but most laboratories will already have a microscope in place. A heat cytometer is maybe $120. Now, the culture counter is most expensive. They cost several $1,000s, but they also are available in various grades of that's more expensive and have more bells and whistles than the ones that we use in our laboratory. Typically, hospitals use culture counters that are much more sophisticated than the particle counter that we have. The thermometer, somewhat in between, costs about $4,000 to $5,000. The very biggest expense depends on how many cell counts you have to perform every day. Would be when you have to purchase disposable counter chambers because they can only be used once. And so if you are working in a high volume laboratory that does a lot of cell counts, then this is money that you substantial expense you have to constantly purchase these kind of counter chambers. Now when it comes to how easy the methods are to use, these are all fairly easy to use. I teach all seconds to my students here at cell culture class, and they typically are very efficient after a few trials. The hemocytometer and the thermometer need a little bit of practice loading only because the hemocytometer and both rely on small volumes. It's very important that you get the proper volume loaded. You have to have steady hands, and so that takes a little bit of practice to get good. Now, another question of importance is maybe get an electronic record be kept. Because we like to keep up with the electronics, we like to keep up with the records, and so if you work in a cell culture lab where you have to perform daily counts, you may want to keep an electronic record of your daily counts. Because the cytometer being using manual method, you don't have that option. You could possibly have maybe if you had a Excel spreadsheet or some sort of a computer program, you could maybe enter the record into an electronic file. Now, the phenometer, this is a major advantage of using a phenometer because not only can you get your cell count saved in data files, but you can also save images of the cells in image files. So you have a permanent record available after you perform any count of a phenometer. You can go back and look at the number of cells, you can look at the viability, you can look at the distribution of the cells, looking at sizes, so that may be important to understand or to look at to keep a record of. Now, the culture counter in our laboratory is not attached to a computer, but of course that option is available. You can attach the culture counter to a computer, and then of course you have access to electronic records. Both the cytometer and culture counter, the way we have them set up, require calculations to be performed that can be done using a simple calculator. Now, let's just look at one of the pieces of equipment, the cytometer. What are limitations or advantages of using the cytometer? I've already mentioned that it requires some practice loading because it uses a passive pipette, and it also requires steady hands that you don't over or underload the counting chamber. Another limitation is that the lowest concentration that you count is 1 cell. If you have 1 cell in 9 squares and you apply that to the formula, the lowest concentration would be 2,000 cells per milliliter. Now, if you have very high concentration, we're talking about maybe more than 2 million cells per mil, then it gets kind of tricky to be able to count all the cells. So I recommend a process to be performed, then you can count the cells quicker, and the only thing you have to keep in mind then is when you calculate concentration, you have to use the difference in order to calculate because you have to use the continue on the limitations and advantages of the cytometer. Well, if you have lots of cells that are clumping up, then you can actually try to count the individual cells, number of cells that are part of a clump. And that is sometimes, if the cells, if there are lots of clumps, it may be cumbersome, but at least you can get an idea as to how many clumps there are present and how many cells are present in a clump. And another, this is a major advantage of using the cytometer is that you get really good visual inspection of the cell population. And you can then tell if the population is aging, sometimes tell if the population is starting to not just look terribly happy before the cells even take up the dynamic state. Now, I've come across the cells many times in many years in the laboratory, and I use the immediate visual inspection to tell me immediately whether my cells are happy or whether they're starting to decline. That's the visual inspection. You also have to be very careful with pipette. Use very small volume, 20 microliters each. The chamber, the counting chamber, but the phenometer will calculate, give you numbers of cells per mil, its viability, etc. But you also have options to allow the computer program to calculate how to subculture cells, how to dilute cells. So that's an advantage. You don't have to do more manually, and it can also show you how the size distribution is of cells. That's a major advantage because it allows you to get a lot more information and keep an electronic record of it. Okay, the culture counter has some advantages and disadvantages. First of all, it's very fast. You can count a lot of cells in a very short period of time. One of the features, you can actually adjust the size of the particles that you count. So if you count cells that use somewhere around 10 microns diameter, you can get it so that the cell count any size above 4 microns. The only disadvantage is that if there was a clump of cells, they would be counted as one, unless you specify that it will not count any large clump. Of course, if you set the machine so it doesn't count any large clump, then it will not count a clump of cells at all. It will also not be able to distinguish between viable and non-viable cells because it only counts particles, and you're not going to get a visual inspection of it. The culture counter cannot tell whether a cell is viable or whether a cell is dead. You can type into one number, and that's total number. So if you have a population of cells that doesn't have high viability, then the culture counter, then it would not be appropriate. As we wrap up, please mark your calendar for our next scheduled bioform coming on January 21st, 2014 at 10 o'clock a.m. Registration for this event is free and will be available within the next few days online at our website, mcbionetwork.org. We want to remind our audience that if you log on to mcbionetwork.org/IEC, you can take advantage of our free interactive e-learning tools that we've created. We cover a wide variety of topics, and we're certain you'll find some of these things. Also, you can participate in social networking if you're on Facebook, and you can browse the topics in the news, future events, and other interesting articles simply by liking. Just go to facebook.com/bionetwork. I would like to thank our panelists today, Lynn Mark, once again, for today's presentation. This concludes our webinar, and on behalf of all of us at North Carolina Bio Network, thank you for your time and participation, and have a great day. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Smith, the Curriculum Coordinator for Bio Network, and welcome to today's presentation entitled Concepts in Cleaning and Disinfection of Controlled Environments. Our bioform is scheduled to run from 10 a.m. until approximately 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Our panelist today is Renee Morley, Account Manager in the Life Science Division for the Theris Corporation. We're excited to have you meeting with us today, and at this time I will turn it over to our panelist, Renee Morley.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today. This is going to be a high-level presentation on the concepts in cleaning and disinfection of controlled environments. As Greg had said, and if you have read my bio, I've been with Ceres for about 8 years now, and I started off in customer service, working with a lot of the customers internally. Now I'm out in the field, and I handle Eastern North Carolina. So I handle a lot of facilities in the Eastern North Carolina area, talking about disinfection and contamination control programs. So, this is the agenda today. I'm not just going to be talking about cleaning and disinfection, I'm going to be talking about other controls that you have to have in place to provide a sound, robust contamination control program. And that's what we call it, Ceres says usually, we call it a contamination control program because that's what it is, and it hits every different part of the facility. If it's environmental control, the facility itself, personnel, the products you use, etc. So the first slide we're going to be talking about, the first topic is microbial control objectives. And why do we clean? It's for product integrity, so that you can provide, and facilities can provide, safe products to patients. Historically speaking, the FDA was more concerned about the contamination of non-penicillin drug products, with penicillin or the cross-contamination of drug products with potent steroids or hormones. We hear a lot about microbial integrity, as we've heard, with the fungal contamination of the steroid in the New England Compounding Center. So, different facilities and different areas within the industry are seeing that they need a sound microbial contamination program in place. And also having product integrity, because sometimes a microorganism that's adjustable can potentially degrade the product on the facility. And also a lot of, why we clean is for equipment reuse, so that your equipment can be used for long periods of time. I work with facilities that are brand new and some that have been around for 20 to 30 years. They have to have these programs in place in order to have safe equipment, good equipment to continue to process these drugs. And then also, we clean because of regulatory issues. 21 CFR 211, we follow the EU guide, CDMP Annex 1, and the FDA guidance for the industry from 2004. And then going along more of the regulatory expectations, if you have one cleaning process for cleaning between different batches of the same product and use of a different process for cleaning between products needed, you should have written procedures to address these different scenarios and documented evidence of why the same process is not required. Some companies I work with have to clean with a detergent, some companies I don't, I work with have to clean with water. If you have one process for removing water-soluble residues and another process for non-water-soluble residues, the written procedure should address both scenarios and make it clear with a given procedure which is to be followed for cleaning that different types of equipment and batches. And why worry about microbes? Even in products not required to be sterile. I've actually gotten a lot of calls recently from the oil solid dose facilities in this area that they needed help with developing a more robust contamination control product or program because they have seen mold in their areas and they want to get rid of it. The CDMP emphasizes cleaning and control microbial contaminants, and they also require appropriate written procedures designed accessible organisms in drug products not required to be sterile and should be established and followed. A lot of people, even if it's not an aseptic facility, they don't have an aseptic background or guidelines that they know that they have to process the product that microbial contamination is still an issue even if it is not a facility that's sterile. And the four major vehicles of contamination are air, so the air we breathe every single day, water, which microbes love water, and that's where they like it for health and use for their food, the surface of clean rooms and general area. And when I talk about clean rooms, I talk about from class 100 to class 100,000. And then people are the largest form of the next one is about environmental control, the form of the facility to how products are being brought. The CFR states that equipment for adequate control over pressure, microorganisms, humidity, and temperature shall be provided when appropriate for the manufacture, processing, testing, or holding of the drug product. And what is a clean room? A clean room is an environment typically used to manufacture and scientific research that has a low level of environmental pollutants such as dust, airborne microbes, aerosols, particles, and chemical vapors. It's a controlled area of contamination that's specified by a number of particles per cubic meter. The temperature and the RH control is vital, and all facilities have a 30 to 60% relative humidity, maintaining it 24 hours a day. And then, so I separated it into the air changes per hour for different facilities for the different types of classes of clean rooms. So for class 100,000, we do up to 15 air changes per hour, class 10,000, plus than 30 air changes per hour, and class 100, plus than 100 air changes per hour. So greater than, sorry. And buildings and facilities. So flow of components, labeling, and plastic materials and drug products through the building or buildings shall be designed to prevent contamination. This is one of the first questions that we usually ask when a customer or a facility has an issue with contamination. The flow of the product is very important. Sometimes I see that, they have the changing room that's next to the warehouse, and that's an area where contamination is prevalent because there's a lot of cardboard there, there's a lot of items coming in and out, doors are opening up and down, letting different areas. So a way to help with this is, I'll talk about it later on the presentation as well, using different disinfectants before sides, but a lot of people decontaminate the items that are brought in prior to entering the business. So again, bringing items into the clean room. The items and the cartwheels are also an area where we see a lot of contamination. Some people will use cartwheel tape or they'll use a forcide. We've had a facility that actually created divots into their clean room and the cartwheels just sat in the forcide. So they knew that there was no contamination coming off of the cart. When they move from room to room, that's when you need to kind of look at it too. How is it going in? What areas is it going into? And how are you decontaminating it prior to getting into that room? A lot of facilities I see have dedicated carts and dedicated items to the clean room. Obviously, you can't always do that with certain things like raw materials and so forth. So, based on what where they are in the facility and how you're going to decontaminate is something that you need to look into. Airlock casters and dining rooms are also an area where contamination can be brought in. These people are the biggest form of contamination in a clean room. The rooms are divided into a dirty and clean side. They're clean to the higher level, the ISO level. So what that means is that those rooms are also clean as well, and so whatever room you're going into, those are also clean as well. So some facilities will clean every day, some will clean at every shift. A lot of facilities will use isopropyl alcohol in those areas for your hands, and then so you'll flush your hands obviously first, and then you'll decontaminate with an IPA or ethyl alcohol, ethanol. We usually, in this area, at least I see a lot of people using 70% IPA. I see that the trends are moving towards that people are using aerosol IPA and using that way, or possibly dispensers with IPA on their blood, so that there is little cause contamination. And then some people will also use the living items into the clean room. They'll use the fluoride first, and then they'll wipe down with an IPA or an ethanol alcohol if they see a residue on the item. And then one of the other things that we see a lot too is that the surfaces need to be easily cleanable. We have some facilities that have porous areas, and those are more difficult to clean. They require a longer contact time. And with that, you have to recognize what's easy to clean, what's not easy to clean. The areas that are hard to reach.